Hello and welcome to Bite Size History, History of the United Kingdom, brought to you by AI Cast. I'm your host Aidan. In this episode, we will explore the role of trade networks and exchange in Bronze Age Britain. Trade was a significant feature of Bronze Age society, and it played an important role in shaping the economic and cultural landscape of the period. The development of new technologies and social organization, such as bronze metalworking and the emergence of chiefdoms, had a significant impact on the nature and extent of trade in the period. Bronze Age Britain was part of a wider network of trade and exchange that spanned much of Europe and beyond. Communities and chiefdoms in Britain engaged in trade and exchange with other communities and chiefdoms throughout the continent, exchanging goods such as metals, textiles, and foodstuffs. The use of rivers and coastal waterways played a significant role in facilitating trade and exchange, as did the development of wheeled transport and pack animals such as horses and oxen. The emergence of chiefdoms in Bronze Age Britain had a significant impact on the nature and extent of trade and exchange. Chiefs and other leaders were able to control and regulate trade, often establishing trade routes and networks that extended across large areas. Chiefs and other leaders were also able to use trade and exchange as a means of asserting their power and influence over other communities and chiefdoms. The development of new technologies and social organization, such as bronze metalworking and the emergence of chiefdoms, also had a significant impact on the nature and scope of trade in the period. The development of bronze metalworking allowed for the creation of more durable and effective tools and weapons, which in turn made it possible to produce goods such as jewelry, weapons, and tools for exchange. The emergence of chiefdoms created new opportunities for trade and exchange, as powerful leaders were able to control and regulate trade and use it to expand their power and influence. The impact of trade and exchange on the wider society and culture of Bronze Age Britain was significant. Trade and exchange created new opportunities for economic growth and development, as communities and chiefdoms were able to acquire new resources and goods. Trade and exchange also created new opportunities for cultural exchange and the transmission of ideas and technologies. The impact of trade and exchange can be seen in the material and cultural remains of Bronze Age Britain, from the distribution of metal objects to the spread of artistic styles and motifs. Trade networks and exchange were a significant feature of Bronze Age Britain, and they played an important role in shaping the economic and cultural landscape of the period. The emergence of new technologies and social organization, such as bronze metalworking and the emergence of chiefdoms, had a significant impact on the nature and extent of trade in the period. Trade and exchange created new opportunities for economic growth and development, as well as cultural exchange and the transmission of ideas and technologies. However, the impact of trade and exchange was not always positive. Trade often created new forms of social inequality and exploitation, as powerful leaders were able to control and regulate trade to their own advantage. The reliance on long-distance trade and exchange also created new vulnerabilities for communities and chiefdoms, as disruptions in trade networks could have significant impacts on local economies and social stability. The impact of trade and exchange on the environment was also significant. The transportation of goods over long distances often had a significant impact on local ecosystems and resources. The reliance on long-distance trade and exchange also created new forms of resource extraction and exploitation, as communities and chiefdoms sought to acquire new resources and goods from distant regions. Despite these challenges and limitations, however, the legacy of Bronze Age trade and exchange can still be seen in the social, economic, and cultural landscape of Britain today. The development of new technologies and social organization created new opportunities for trade and exchange, which in turn created new forms of economic growth and development. The impact of trade and exchange on the material and cultural remains of Bronze Age Britain is a testament to the enduring impact of this important aspect of Bronze Age society. In conclusion, the study of Bronze Age trade networks and exchange is an important area of research that sheds new light on the social, economic, and cultural landscape of the period. Trade and exchange played an important role in shaping the economic and cultural landscape of Bronze Age Britain, creating new opportunities for economic growth and development, as well as cultural exchange and the transmission of ideas and technologies. Despite its challenges and limitations, the legacy of Bronze Age trade and exchange can still be seen in the social, economic, and cultural landscape of Britain today. The study of Bronze Age trade and exchange is an important reminder of the enduring impact of this important aspect of human history. Thank you for listening. If you liked the show, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time on Bite Size History.